Jessie was a teenage girl and a fan of Barbie. For those who don't know what Barbie is, it's a popular line of toys, geared mostly towards young girls. It has attracted both praise and criticism over the years, as well as crashes and priorities. It also spawned a near-infinite number of spin-offs media such as books, movies, and video games, both official and fake. Yet, there is one Barbie that has rarely been talked about in famous lost episode of sorts. Though episode is a wrong word to use, as this was one cheap straight-to-DVD movies. That Barbie became famous for most of these movies. Basically, Barbie meets Disney, with her reenacting some famous fairy tale, yet one was different from the start. The box it came was designed a large wooden door, and the Barbie logo seemed somewhat broken. The title of the movie was Behind Closed Doors. The DVD itself was blank, and upon putting it in DVD player, it would usually process to a blank screen, reading that the disc cannot read or be corrupt. As a result of almost all the DVDs were later taken back and never released. Jess, however, didn't return a copy of the DVD. She wanted to test it out for herself. Surrendering it to her delight, the DVD actually played as soon as she was looking at a loading screen. That showed a happy, smiling Barbie on one side, a colorful selection screen, and Ken on the other side. The movie itself played quite fine, and despite the strange name of the movie, it followed rather basic and predictable Barbie plots, with her and Ken living in a fancy apartment in a big city, inviting friends over and basically having a stereotypical good time. After watching the movie, Jess decided it was not exactly the most thrilling of experiments, but certainly it wasn't anything terrible either. Jess returned to the selection screen and noticed it had an option, as many DVDs do, of watching some extra scenes given rather a simple plot of the movie. Jess decided she may as well watch some extra scenes and see what they had to offer. Upon activating the extra scene selection, Jess greeted to disturbing a real-life image of domestic abuse victims, mostly women and children. The image were extremely graphic, and more to the stuff you find shock sites or campaign at DVD sold mostly for young girls. After each real-life image, their world be short flashed. A scene from the movie created a twisted slideshow of one moment there was an image of a Barbie and her friend smiling, the next badly beaten woman's face starting at the screen, a frame of Barbie and Ken following almost immediately by a child in real life support. After the slideshow finished playing, the screen froze, revealing an angry image of Ken starting directly at Jess. To her shock, the sound of footsteps rushed towards her bedroom door, and she let out a cry as her bedroom door suddenly shook, as if someone was hitting it repeatedly with their fist. Yet almost as soon as Jess let out a cry, the screen turned black and the banging stopped. Jess' parents entered the room and asked her what's wrong. She tried to explain what happened, but perhaps unsurprisingly, her parents didn't believe her. Jess tried to convince them, trembling as she turned the DVD player off, then on again, and the selection scene came on. Yet, as Jess looked to the screen, she noticed extra scenes selection was missing. Thinking Jess to be suffering from hysteric, her parents quickly turned off the DVD and rushed her out of the room. After a while, they managed to calm her down, and she even allowed herself to a small laugh, as it seemed so silly. But the time Jess went to bed that night, she had almost forgotten about her experience, dismissing it as a nightmare. The off-fitting DVD was back in the case, and Jess decided she would finally hand it into the store in the morning and be done with this whole thing. Closing her eyes, a little Jess smiled to herself and began to drift to sleep, when suddenly she awoke with a shock as footsteps rushed toward her, and the door began to shake as banging echoed across the area. Jess sat up and screamed. This time, it was no dream. This time, it was real.